Hey NFL fans, before we get into the latest NFL rumors and news, I want you to like this video if you think your favorite team is making the playoffs in 2020. I hope all of you guys like it. Be positive. That's the great part of the NFL. All 32 teams have a chance on any given season, so go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. With that being said, let's jump on into today's show. All right, let's jump into the latest Yannick Ngakoue rumors. Not a ton of new stuff here other than the fact that he still wants to get traded. Nothing has changed on that front. But Brian Baldinger, NFL analyst, also does some college football work as well, kind of stated the obvious on a radio show earlier today, basically saying, look, Ngakoue wants out. Jalen Ramsey proved that you can force your way out of any situation, but for the Jags, it's about the proper compensation value. What can they get in return? Obviously, Jacksonville didn't get an offer they liked during the NFL draft, which leads me to believe that Ngakoue may start the 2020 NFL season on Jacksonville's roster. Now, here was a more expanded thought from Baldinger saying Jalen Ramsey will show you can get out of a place if you rant long enough and hard enough. You've got to figure out the compensation with Jacksonville, which isn't going to be cheap, but he was a third-round pick, so what's the value? Then you have to sign him. What teams have that kind of money that can create a contract like that? It's going to be a lot of money. And those are all legitimate points. Any team that trades for Yannick Ngakoue is going to have to pay him at least $15 million per year, but probably closer to 20 based on what, top-end pass rushers have been getting in recent years. 17 or 18 is what I would guess he would get settled at. So, again, I don't think Ngakoue is going to be in Jacksonville long-term. I would be surprised if he reports if the Jags don't trade him, but they're not going to trade him for a bag of chips. They're going to want at least a second-round pick and more, and for now, they're sticking to their first-round pick value for Ngakoue. We'll see if they get that. I think they could get that at next year's NFL trade deadline, but that means he would be on their roster for the first few weeks of next season. So, predict, will Yannick Ngakoue get traded before week 1 of this upcoming season? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comments section. Kind of think it might be an N for no, but we will see what happens. You guys love talking about the NFL, debating NFL sports as well, not just, listening to the 6 o'clock news every night. Go ahead and subscribe if that's the case. We do live shows all the time here at Chat Sports. Tom and Mitch typically handle those, but sometimes I work my way in as well. We do a lot of hot topics. We debate the latest news and rumors, give our inputs on it as well. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already. We got videos going up on the channel almost every single day. All right, let's talk about Dak Prescott and more specifically the quarterback market right now. There might be a bit of a standstill. That's kind of how we're sitting. Obviously, Dak and the Cowboys continue to negotiate. The latest offer is 5 years of $35 million per year with over $100 million guaranteed. I think that's a pretty good deal if I'm Dak Prescott, but they want 4 years on his deal. Maybe, just maybe, considering the Cowboys and Dak have been negotiating over a year, maybe he's waiting for Deshaun Watson to get his major extension. Maybe he's waiting for the Chiefs to extend Patrick Mahomes. Now, you can't wait forever because Mahomes and Watson each have an extra year on their rookie contract because they entered the NFL in 2017, whereas Dak entered in 2016. And in Watson and Mahomes' case, they have that fifth-year option being a first-round pick. That was not the case for Dak, as Dallas had to franchise tag him this offseason. We'll see if they come to terms on a long-term deal. Now, I'll say this, regardless of who gets signed first, Dak is not as good as Mahomes, and I don't really think he's as good as Watson either. I like Dak Prescott a lot, but if he thinks he's waiting for Mahomes to sign and can get more money than Mahomes, I think that's a little bit short-sighted if I'm Dak's reps. Look, $35 million per year for 5 years with over $100 million guaranteed, that's a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. All right, I want you guys to rank these quarterbacks from 1 to 3, best to worst. Mahomes, Prescott, and Deshaun Watson. I would rank them Mahomes 1, Watson 2, Dak 3. So go ahead, type your votes from best to worst down below. If I was typing Mahomes, Watson, Dak, I'll make this the pinned comment on this video, so go ahead and cast your votes. And speaking of recent contract extensions on, what money looks like, this even proves more that it's even more fair for Dak. He would essentially make more than all these guys, about the same as Russell Wilson. I don't think he's as good as Russell Wilson. I think he's for sure better than Jared Goff. And He's probably better than Carson Wentz, although I think talent-wise, Wentz has more talent, but he's obviously missed critical time with injuries. I would take Dak over Wentz, but you could argue the other way, certainly on that one. Look, if he gets the same contract as Russell Wilson in terms of an annual base and guaranteed money, who's to argue with that? Like, Dak, sign the deal, man. You got a new coaching staff in there. You got other fish to fry. You got to focus on some other things. I just think take this deal, man. $35 per year, that's a pretty sweet deal for a young quarterback. What's also a sweet deal is we got Nike jerseys on sale for just less than $80. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. These are all the authentic Nike jerseys. You can get all the top players. Rodgers, Zeke, Deshaun Watson for you DW4 fans out there. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. We have all the top players at just $80 from your favorite team. So go ahead and shop today. Get yourself a new jersey for the 2020 season. All right, the latest on Logan Ryan is perhaps he is heading to the Jets, although the Dolphins are also interested as well. Rich Cimini of ESPN, who covers the Jets and has for a while, says that the two parties are engaged in discussions, both Logan Ryan's reps and the New York Jets. At this point, I think he's going to sign a short-term deal, 1, maybe 2 years at most. He overestimated what he was going to get in free agency. I think he was looking for a Kendall Fuller type of deal, 4 years, $40 million, $10 million per. Don't think he's getting that at this point in the process, so I could see him signing like a 1-year deal worth $8 million, and he would be a great fit for the Jets or the Dolphins, who are trying to fast-track their rebuilds. Look, I like Logan Ryan. Versatile DB, can play nickel, can play some outside if you ask him to. Good tackler, good playmaker. Sure, he gives up his fair share of completions, but he forces turnovers as well. He is the ideal modern-day nickelback in the NFL, and I think any team would like to have him, especially on a reduced cost, which is what it appears it's going to be at this point in the process. Still a young player. We'll see if the Jets land him. Like I said, the Dolphins are also interested as well, but the Logan Ryan sweepstakes could be coming to a close pretty soon. All right, the latest on Jason Peters as we jump from one free agent to another here on NFL Daily is, look, we already knew this. Mike Garofalo is just reinstating that, look, Peters wants to play in 2020. That's the plan. That's what he wants to do. He'd like to return to Philadelphia, but he's not limiting his options to the team he spent the last, I don't know, several years of his career with after starting with Buffalo as an undrafted free agent. Look, yeah, is he 38, about to be 39? Yeah, he's old, but he's still pretty good, and there's a lot of teams in the NFL that could use an offensive tackle of Jason Peters with his resume and with his abilities. You know, I think the Eagles could still benefit from bringing him back, if nothing else, to have that veteran experience for some of the young guys. The Jets, they drafted Mekhi Becton. They could either put Peters at right tackle or swing Becton over to right tackle for 1 or 2 years. The Bears could certainly upgrade at the tackle spot on their offensive line. Denver could add him. Seattle could put him at right tackle opposite of Dwayne Brown. There's other teams as well. Jason Peters brings a lot to a team, both on and off the field, and I think it'd be foolish for someone to not sign him. Where will he play in 2020? Type P for Philly, type O for other. Go ahead and let me know down in the comment section. My gut tells me Philly's going to bring him back on a 1-year deal, but he seems intent on playing, so it would not shock me if he ends up somewhere else as well. I want to remind you guys one more time to take advantage of this jersey deal. We have Nike jerseys for just under $80. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. I'll put the link in the comments. I'll put it in the description. I mentioned a lot of the top players. We got Darnold, OBJ, all kinds of players on the site. Not just the ones we're showing you either. We have a lot of the top guys from, all 32 NFL teams. So go to chatsports.com/jersey deal. Go ahead and gear yourself up for the 2020 NFL season. All right, I found this interesting. Dan Orlovsky, who used to play in the NFL as a quarterback, if you remember that infamous play of the Lions quarterback running out of the end zone for a safety, yep, same guy, Dan Orlovsky. I'll give him this, though. Pretty good NFL analyst for ESPN, does a nice job. I like a lot of the work he does. But, he could be bold at times, which I can certainly appreciate from time to time. I like to, I like people who are bold. This was certainly bold. Not the whole list. He releases top 5 quarterbacks on ESPN's Get Up, the early show that they show in the mornings. Wentz in the top 5. Ooh, that's a little rich for me. Obviously, Mahomes, Wilson, and Jackson, I think they're certainly worthy of top 5. I think Brady's very debatable, quite frankly, based on what we saw last year. I'll give Orlovsky the benefit of the doubt there, though. Tom Brady is the GOAT, so I have no major issue with that. Wentz top 5, if this was most talented quarterbacks, maybe. But he's played in one quarter in 6 possible playoff games in his career. He's hurt at the most important moments. Now, is it his fault? This past year especially wasn't, but a top 5 quarterback? Go ahead and let me know who your top 5 quarterbacks are in the NFL. Type them down below from 1 to 5. I can't put Wentz in my top 5 if he can't stay healthy in the biggest game. Sure, last year wasn't his fault. He got concussed in a playoff game. I'm not talking about that. But prior years, not healthy down the stretch of the season. Super Bowl run, that was Nick Foles. He wasn't ready. I can't put him in the top 5 if he's not on the field in the biggest games of the season. Here's my top 5, okay? Here we go. Mahomes 1. I think he cemented himself as the best quarterback in the league with that playoff run last year. The last 2 years he's had have been sensational. Drew Brees, number 2. People were sleeping on Brees. Orlovsky didn't have him in his top 5. Yeah, he missed 5 or 6 games last year with the injury because of Teddy Bridgewater stepping in there as well. He had a 74.5 completion percentage. He was terrific last year, second in the NFL in passer rating. Russell Wilson, we all know what he does. He's outstanding for Seattle. Lamar Jackson, yeah, you could argue him 2 or 3, but down the stretch didn't play as well, was not impressive against the Titans. Like Mahomes, let's see him do it again in year 2 as a starter, like his second full season. Last year I wouldn't have put Mahomes 1, but now he's earned that. Can Lamar move up? Absolutely. Let's just see it again in 2020. And then I still have Aaron Rodgers top 5. I don't think they have a ton around him at the wide receiver position. I would put him at number 5 of my top 5 quarterbacks.